Hey everybody, this is On Screen Off Screen, a show where we like to talk about our week's media intake, how it impacts our lives, and how our lives impact what we consume. This week it is just Conlon and myself. Lauren is still enjoying some much needed vacation time. She's doing awesome, even though we miss her. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and burn through both my topics, if that's okay, Conlon, and then we'll go to you. Okay.
Okay.
My first one is called Voicemails for Isabelle. This is a Netflix rom com. I saw an ad for it, and they were advertising it as the next Comfort Watch. I was like, Netflix isn't the most reliable, but if they say they've got a comfort rom com, I can trust it okay. Like that's something I will trust them to make. Um,
Okay.
and this is You've Got Mail.
Oh,
Tom Hanks. That's all this movie is. The difference is this one is self aware and they call the person out for being creepy. And
okay.
I think that that is awesome. So, in this movie, the basic premise is our main character has a sister, Isabelle, who has cancer. She's had cancer
Okay.
her whole life. They are very close. Our main character has a habit of calling and talking to her all the time. And when the cancer finally takes over, she starts calling to leave voicemails for her sister Isabelle. And our main male character gets a new work phone, and the phone number's Isabelle's. So he starts listening to these voicemails. And he gets attached to this girl who has no idea he exists because they live in different states and decides, oh, she left a voicemail that says she's going to be at this place at this time in this area. Why don't I go and see if I can set up a meet and greet? And he does, and it is super creepy. And I was pretty mad at the movie at this time. I was like, this is just a creepier You've Got Mail. This is super uncomfortable. He has a very good opportunity to speak up and be like, hey, I've been getting your sister's voicemail, so that's why I knew that you were here. I wanted to meet you. But he doesn't. He goes on to lie. And Conlon, you're going to love this. His big line to start dating her is, I won't sleep with you even if you beg me to do it. uh, and it works, and they start dating, and they start getting closer and closer, and um, it's kind of sweet the entire time. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But he has these two friends that are getting married,
Okay.
and he finally goes home for their wedding or goes back to his state or whatever the situation is. And they start talking, and they're like, I'm so excited to meet this girl. You've been talking about her, wanting to meet her, and you've looked her up on Instagram and whatever. And then they ask him, they're like, so how did she take the news about her sister's voicemail? And he's like, I didn't tell her. And they're like, you've got mailed her. You are not Tom Hanks. You cannot do that, right? They berate him. They shun him for doing such a horrible thing, which is not something you always get in these movies. You know,
You almost never do.
it's one of Conlon and I's biggest pet peeves is these women or people cheat or do terrible things and there's no repercussions for it. There's no consequences for it. They do it and everything's fine and dandy. Um, but they do a pretty good job with this one. This one is enjoyable. There's some funness to it. The relationship is genuinely really cute. I love that it is not just like, oh, they met and then they had sex. Like, it is genuinely like they met and they bonded and they talked about each other and they got to
What?
know each other. and they found out they had similar senses of humor, and they joked with each other, and like there's even a cute scene where like they fall asleep and he wakes up and he realizes that they're too close, and he's like, "Oh, I need to give her the space because of my wonderful pickup line that says I won't sleep with you." And he goes out and lays on the couch, and then she wakes up a little bit later and she goes and lays with him anyway. Um, so it's got some cuteness to it. The negatives of this movie is every time you start to feel happy, they remind you that she has a cancerous sister or a dead cancerous sister. Um, it is just like, oh, hey, you were happy for a second? Remember this detail of the movie.
Remember cancer.
Remember. Um, it does end on a happy note. Is it anything new or unique? No. Does it do anything the best you've ever seen it? No.
No.
Does it do it pretty well? Yeah. It's a Netflix rom com comfort watch if that's what you want to do. Is it a comfort watch for me? No, I don't like remembering that cancer and death exists every 5 minutes. But am I happy I watched it? Absolutely. I'm giving this one a 7.5.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is higher than expected, actually. That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool.
I'd recommend giving it a shot. You might like it, you might hate it, because like I said, it does nothing unique or phenomenally good or whatever. But I like the main girl. I think she's a good actress, and it's got some happiness along the way.
The last Netflix rom com that I remember you liking was the one with iCarly that you really liked. What did you give that one?
A
Do you
9.
remember? Okay, that one was a 9.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love that movie. That movie is fantastic. The Wrong Paris.
That's the one. Yep.
Love that movie. It was my 2025 movie of the year. So good.
Okay, so this one's not
This
quite
one's
that good,
not nearly as good as that one for sure. No,
but Netflix is still like pulling out some bangers.
yeah, I wouldn't call it quite a banger. Like you genuinely might watch this and be like, "Well, that sucked. Josh is stupid for liking this." It is just depressing and does nothing unique, right? It is just a Fault in Our Stars, and You've Got Mail had a baby. That is all that this movie is. But I do give it some credit for being self-aware and making fun of and laughing at itself. That might not fix it for everyone, and that's understandable.
That
Um,
is fair.
Not
With
high on a rewatch list. Am I open to a rewatch? Sure. Um, if I do rewatch it, will it be anytime soon? No. But yeah,
so since you brought it up, Fault in Our Stars, I think we should read it. And the
I
reason
don't.
that I think we should read it, why not? Why not?
Go ahead. Why do you think we should read it?
You know how we both like the Vlog Brothers?
The what?
The Vlog Brothers, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, what are their names? 1 second. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
The Caravan of Garbage?
No, 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 no. Oh, what are the names? John and Hank Green.
Green. Okay.
Yes. I think it's Hank. Yes, Hank wrote that, which I found out today and it blew my mind.
By John Green.
John Green. John wrote it.
Okay.
And I was like, I hate the movie, but I like you so much that I want to give your book a try because I like him a ton, and I'm shocked he wrote that.
You can read it and you can tell me if you like it. I kind of like the movie. I don't think it's
Okay.
as good as Walk to Remember, but I think it's the next best thing in that genre.
Oh, I actively disliked the movie. Like, did not like it. I've only seen it once. I would never, ever, ever have read this book. Never. But the fact that he wrote this blew my mind so hard that I have to read it.
Go for it. I
I'll
hope
give it a
it's
shot.
good. I hope you enjoy it.
I hope so too. Honestly, that does sound like a. It sounds like a movie that I would have a good time with. I don't think it
Yeah,
sounds like the greatest thing ever, but it sounds like something that would be enjoyable.
it's not. It definitely skips over a lot of the grief of it. It doesn't really deal with anything heavy or super serious. Well, not super serious. It is super serious, but like, yeah, it's perfectly fine Netflix rom com that
And
is enjoyable. It is well made. They did think it out. They did think it through.
and
So,
sometimes you just want something well made, thought through. That's an enjoyable time, and that's all you really need.
yeah, yeah, nothing
Yeah,
egregiously wrong with it. Which
nothing
leads me
crazy.
to my next movie, which is another Netflix rom com. This one I
Ooh,
had no expectations for, lower than low expectations for, and that is Office Romance.
okay.
It is another Netflix rom com. It is another one that is completely self aware of what it is, and it is Hitch and the Ryan Gosling one that I absolutely the proposal.
The
That's all
proposal.
this movie is. It is mostly
Yeah.
just the proposal. There is some Hitch elements to it. It does nothing unique. It does nothing original. It stars Brett Goldstein, which is Roy Kent, and
Oh,
Jennifer Lopez, which I don't like. So I've got one person I do like and one person I don't like, and it's doing absolutely nothing original. He is a lawyer. She is the CEO of an airline.
of course she is.
There are 1,000 penis jokes in this movie, um, some of which are funny. There is one that is extremely uncomfortable and weird, but it is well made. There was some laughs and funness along the way. Um, there is the whole it's against company policy, so we can't be together. It's a forbidden love. Oh no.
Oh
And
no.
there's like this whole thing that it's like the world is going to end if they start dating. And I'm sitting there like, she's the CEO. At least in like the proposal, there's somebody above her, right? There's somebody superior to Sandra Bullock to make it make sense that she couldn't just change the rules. Um, there's the legal aspect of it. So, like, is it as good as the proposal? No. Would I rather watch the proposal or this 10 out of 10 times? Absolutely. Do I think people could watch this and have a good time with it? I'm looking at the ratings right now 5.8 on IMDb, 49% Rotten Tomato score, zero point 0.5 out of 4 on Roger Ebert. I have no idea what that is, but that is a silly low score. I watch this one if you want to. It doesn't break the ground. It is not original at all. Jennifer Lopez didn't annoy me in this movie, so there's that. Um,
Okay.
he does a really good job with it. It's nice to see him do something that isn't a angry guy all of the time.
He
There
was he
is
very different?
no,
Okay.
no. He's still himself. It is like it. I would say it's pushing the boundaries of what you know him for doing, but it's nothing
Okay.
new. It's nothing completely
Okay.
different. There is a scene where uh, it reveals that she's obsessed with British stuff and has a British room.
Okay.
And so he makes fun of her for it. It is genuinely really funny. Um, it's enjoyable. It's perfectly fine. People who are rating this as low as a 5.8, that's a little bit
Get a
low.
life.
Like, just enjoy it. Like, people falling in love, it's cute. It's fine. There's nothing egregiously wrong with it. I'm giving it a 6.5. I'm happy I watched it. Is it as good as the other one? No. But like, if you're in the mood for a Netflix romance, you could definitely do a lot worse than this movie. And
With my wife likes J Lo. She likes J Lo movies. I don't. There's not a single J Lo movie that I've ever watched that I actually really enjoy. Would Do you recommend it?
yeah, give it a shot. It's not like
Okay.
I don't think you're gonna watch this and be like, you know, the Notebook. She's just a cheater and a horrible person. Nobody is like a horrible person in this. Uh,
It's
there
just a
is
movie.
a flaw with the movie where like they um, they treat her like they do in the proposal, where she's like this egregiously horrible boss, right?
Okay.
But every time we see her, she's perfectly pleasant. She's a nice boss. There's a
She's a
running
nice
gag
lady.
that her assistant is pregnant and she keeps telling her to go home and stop working. And
Okay.
when she interacts with the people, like she's perfectly nice and fine. But like there's a build up to where before we see Jennifer Lopez in the first part, it's like she hates when you compliment her shoes. She hates the sound of breathing. If you need to breathe, breathe out of the side of your mouth. And it's like in the proposal, there's the scene where Sandra Bullock shows up and they send out the messages and everybody stands at attention. And it actually shows how ruthless she is to her. Like she just walks by them like they don't matter in a very Devil Wears Prada kind of a way. And in this one, they say that, but everything that they show, it's like she's fine.
Well, she's a decent
She's
person.
she's not like a great boss. You know, we just talked about pressure where we're talking about leadership. Is she a good leader? No. But is she like an
The
asshole to
devil?
her employees? Also no.
No.
So like why are we talking about her this way? I don't know. It's not a big thing. It doesn't come up that much, but it's fine, right? Like
It's
but
not.
yeah,
It's not anything bad. It's just kind of like whatever.
I'm just looking through. I like this better than the Wedding Planner. I like it better than Monster in Law. Uh, yeah, this is probably my favorite Jennifer Lopez movie.
Okay.
Not saying much because I think pretty lowly of her. Uh, but yeah, you could definitely do worse than watching this movie. Your wife will
Okay.
probably like it. It won't be her favorite thing. She won't love it like as much as The Proposal or as much as some of these other movies, and she'll probably like it less than The Wedding Planner or Made in Manhattan, her other big one.
Yeah, she loves the wedding planner.
Yeah, there's nothing terrible about this movie.
Okay.
It's
Well,
fine.
I will check it out. I will try it
Okay.
with Sid because she'll probably like it.
Hopefully. With that, let's go ahead and hit your topics.
All right, there, buddy. My first topic is Ready Player One, the book versus the movie, is what I put down. I read Ready Player One, the book, and it is wildly, wildly different than the movie. They are fundamentally just different things. The the things that are the same. Main character is named Percival, and his real life name that I literally forgot is the same name. Um, they are looking for keys, for three keys, to win the Oasis. There is a group called the 66ers who are a big corporate group that are evil because they're big, I guess. And they want to own this $1 billion enterprise because who wouldn't want to own a $1 billion enterprise? Um his best friend is named H, and his best friend does play a guy in the Oasis and is a girl on the outside of the Oasis. She does live in a van. Other main characters have the same names,
What about the world itself? Is it like the movie where this corporation has basically invented a virtual world for everybody to live in, and they all dystopian just live in the
Yeah,
game rather than reality?
yes, but it feels a little bit different. In the book,
Okay.
it feels like a world that's more fleshed out. So, like at the beginning of the story, our main character is actually going to school in the Oasis. He's a senior in high school, and that's why he is in there. Yes, he is obsessed with James Holiday. He is part of the people that are hunting for the eggs. There is a time period where nobody knows where the eggs are. Like those basic fundamental building blocks are the same, but otherwise it is wildly different. And the reason that I think it's different, I don't know this, I didn't check. I don't think they had the rights to be able to put all of the stuff that's in the book into the movie, so they try to do the best they could. But like the whole race scene that's at the beginning, which is wildly stupid, nobody thought to drive backwards, is not in the book at all, which is good because it was stupid. It was dumb. It's not a good way to start your movie. In the book version, he's going to school and he kind of feels like he's trapped and he's a senior, he's about to graduate, kind of has nothing. And he figures out that the first clue, well, it's on the world where the students are. And nobody thought to look on a place where everybody's just kind of at all the time and it's hidden. So he has to go, and it ends up being a Dungeons and Dragons level from a game guide, and the game guide has exactly where the traps are. It has absolutely everything laid out. So he's able to go and then beat an arcade game, which was one of James Holliday's favorites, against an ancient lich to be able to get the first key. And he is the first person to get a key. When he's there, he meets Artemis, the girl who he is in a relationship in the movie. Like those are similar. She feels like a different person. She feels like a different personality. And she's described in a way that's nothing like what you visually see on the movie. I had to rewatch it to see if I was wrong. It's not comparable at all. Um, and they're both competing. She got there first and she's trying to beat this game. It's called Tempest or something like that. Oh, Joust. It's called Joust. And she's not as good at video games as our main character. So the main character beats it first try. She's been there for 3 weeks and can't beat it. He gives her a little bit of a clue on how to do better, and that's how the relationship starts to form. But they are competing, and it feels like they're not connected. Um, Other people figure out that it's on this world and then track down where the competition is, and it starts to build the leaderboards. But because they're from different parts of the world, it makes it feel bigger. Where in the movie, it's like, oh, H is there, and Soto and May Domino, something like that. The other ninja guy, Artemis and Artemis H, and the main character. Those are kind of your main characters. But because the movie has them all come together in that one shooting scene on the Doom planet, it feels small. They're all already there. This one, they're all chasing the same thing, but they're from different cultures, they're from different places, and it makes the world feel more expansive. The actual competition that they're going towards is a better competition. The main character is kind of a nerd and he's kind of a I just want a girl to like me kind of a guy, and it makes him feel a little bit like a simp, but he grows and becomes something better, which I actually like that there's character progression. There is literally not one yeah, the last competition where they go, nope, there isn't one competition that's the same. All the competitions are completely different from the movie and the book. They didn't keep anything the same. The only other thing that is story wise the same is they do have a part where they have a big battle against the Sixers to be able to get into the castle at the end where the final challenge is. But the final challenge is also not the same. Um, there's a part where the main bad guy turns into Mecha Rex, Mecha Godzilla, and it's freaking awesome in the book. It's really really cool. They fight against Japanese anime characters and Japanese robots that they apparently couldn't get licensing for, and it's sick. It's really fun. The way that he gets the coin is has a perfect Pac-Man game, and he doesn't even know what the coin does. He's just kind of lucky. He they get into a ton of different geek culture and lore that some of it I didn't even really know. It was just better written. It was actually quite good. I liked it a lot. They didn't get into any of the, I don't know. It's just better. Um, the characters don't feel like they're the same characters. At the end of the movie, they're all in a van together, which feels really small because how did they get into the same place in the same world? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But they're in the van together and they're chasing, and they have to have him with the helmet on while the real world things are blowing up, and it's just messy and chaotic. In the book, Holiday's partner, before Holiday dies, makes him promise that he's going to keep the competition honest. And so when he finds out that the Sixers are trying to murder these kids, he brings them to his home and basically gives them security to play the game. Says, I'm not going to change the game at all. You're going to have to win the game or lose the game on your own, but I'll actually have you be safe while you play. That makes a ton of sense. In the movie, his partner is kind of a dick that does nothing. It made me like the movie less, to be completely honest. I do recommend the book. The book is interesting. I thought the way they incorporated geek culture was good. It's not a perfect book. The way he levels is too fast. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The fact that there's a level cap doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it's really good. It's really enjoyable.
So, what would you rate the movie now, having read the book?
The movie for me was like a 7.5. Like it was a decent enough movie. I enjoyed it. I would drop it probably like a 6.8 ish. I still think it's okay, but the book is like a solid 8. It's a very enjoyable book. I could see it going down a little bit upon a reread, but for my time reading it, I had a good time. It was very much a me kind of book.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the movie is dumb but fun. So
that's fair.
I
That's
don't
kind
have
of where
any
I
big
was.
problems with it. It's dumb. There's a lot of stupid stuff. But the Pac-Man scene, and they incorporated the Iron Giant, and all these references. I don't have any problem with it. But I also haven't read the book. I don't actually have any desire to read the book.
Even
Um,
though it's not the same at all.
no, uh, like I'm not opposed to reading the book, but it's like I could read that book, or I could read Empire of the Vampire, or I could
That's fair.
read something else. Something that to me screams just like very visual dependent because of all the
Mm,
references and have the interaction and like
that's
the
fair.
race scene is stupid, but you got the Back to the Future car and like all that kind of stuff, and it's like
Oh, he does have a Back to the Future car, but it can fly.
it
So
flies
that's
in
what
the
he
movie.
uses as a spaceship. Oh,
Oh,
you're right. It does. It does.
yeah. Anyway, it's like that's a very visual thing for me. I can't form mental images, so
Mm,
reading a book that is very dependent on mental images is like I'd rather just read something else. Nothing
that's fair.
against it, nothing wrong with it, but it. I do like the movie. I have the movie at an 8.2 because I do think it's
Mm,
just stupid fun, and I wouldn't mind watching it like ever. It's dumb fun.
that's fair. But aren't there other dumb fun movies that you would rather watch?
Like what?
I don't know. Monty Python it came to mind because it's
No,
referenced so much in the book, and I love that movie. What other
I
dumb
can
fun
only
movies are
watch
there?
that movie if it's like past 2 a.m. and I'm dead exhausted.
Oh, I love that.
And the last time I watched it, I was really like, why did I ever like any part of this? So I haven't watched it again since Snow College 8 years ago.
Ghostbusters, Beverly Hill Cop,
No,
Bad.
haven't seen.
I don't like boys very much. And maybe it is a pretty good dumb fun movie.
Yeah. It
Hmm.
speaks to my nerdiness. There's tons of references, call outs. Like, not all of them are super obvious or in your face. Does the plot
Yeah.
make any sense? No.
No.
Is the villain bad for bad sake? Yes.
Yes.
Are the characters kind of stupid and pointless at times? Also, yes.
Yes.
But like, okay. Just enjoy the references and
It is
it's
an enjoyable movie. And
yeah, it's
that's
fine.
what I thought with the book. It was an enjoyable book that I thought was better. The story was more cohesive. It was just better written. And I liked the references more.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Still, it was an enjoyable time. Um, and with that, I'm going to go to my second topic, which is also just another fun one. Primal Hunter. I literally haven't talked about this in a very, very, very long time. Um, since then, I think I've read 600 chapters, something like that. It's a lot. And the first part of where I left off is the worst part of the series. Easily the worst part. There's this giant dungeon where nothing really matters, and there's a couple cool parts in the dungeon, but otherwise it is like 200 chapters of slog. I probably would read a synopsis and tell people not to read it because it's really long. You get out of that dungeon and it gets bonkers awesome, so freaking good. Um, did you get to the Elcon stuff yet at all?
I'm on book 6.
Okay, I don't think you have. Elcon becomes kind of the big nemesis for this chapter of his life. He has the ability to influence people's emotions, and he's using that influencing technique to basically turn himself into a god of a kind. He's getting worshipped by everybody on his planet as the second coming of this child of light, is what it's called. And it's a he basically created his own mythology and then convinced everybody on the planet that it was real. And he is slowly influencing more and more of the society and the civilization and the solar system to believe that he is this next coming of the child of light. It's a very cool story. And it gets into, you remember William, the guy who's kind of a prick at the beginning? So William becomes like the spy that is breaking into his organization and showing where everything is. Miranda is using her troops to be able to influence the society. There's the Holy Church is connected with Elkan because they want his bloodline so that they can influence and take over more and more of the galaxy. It's very cool, very well written series, and it comes down to an absolutely epic fight with Jake and Elkan, where Jake beats him. And at first, you're reading it, and it's like, oh, this was not as climatic as you want. But during his death, he has a moment where he decides that he is this god, and the system wigs out, it has an error, and it erases his memories, and he becomes this god of light. And the fight is one of the best fights I have ever read in anything. While that's going on, you have the Viper, and the Viper is fighting Yip of Yor. Yip of Yor is an up and coming god who is his entire power set is based on stories. And so he's building up the story of him being the basically the knight in shining armor who's going to fight the dragon. And so the Viper, for some reason, is building up Yip of Yor, and you don't know why this is happening. I'm actually not going to tell you why this is happening because I thought this was a really cool twist, and you absolutely should read it. But Viper is building it up and says, Jake, I haven't asked a lot of you as my chosen, but I need you to badmouth me. I need you to talk me down, and I need you to pretend that you're leaving my side and joining Yip of Yor. And it is absolutely sick what happens. Like, it is such a cool fight. The Yip is getting more and more gods behind him, and through this, the Viper is figuring out who are truly his allies and who are his enemies. He's building up his name after being gone for generations and generations and generations. Can this new up and comer really kill a primordial? Can he kill the dragon? And I love this twist on the typical archetype story for heroism, which is a lot of what they do with Primal Hunter. What is actually a hero? Um, and it's just really cool. I highly recommend it. There's a ton of stuff that happens after that. He gets a girlfriend, which you're gonna love his girlfriend whenever you get to her. She's awesome. She's a goddess. She's super cool. They go to the Pantheon of Life. They do some cool stuff there. They increase the world building. A lot of stuff with Mira. Have you run into her, the elf slave girl? Her story and the way that they develop the character is great. She gets her own history. She doesn't pine for Jake anymore. She realizes that he was just somebody that helped her, and that's okay. She doesn't have to be in love with him. She can have her own life past that emotional connection, and she can provide freedom for other people. It's a great storyline. I love this series. Genuinely, truly, just love it. And you are in for one hell of a ride whenever you start again. The books that you want to skip, I think, are 10 and 11. And when you get there, just tell me and I will tell you what happens. But then you can get to the stuff that's just like full on banger.
Yeah, I got to the college. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
He did the pre-test trials where he fought and failed to fight the Hydra. Um, so, like, as it stands right now, book one, 9 out of 10, book two, 9 out of 10, book three, 9 out of 10, book four, 8, book five, 7, book six, 6. And that is
Okay.
actually our most popular video on this channel is me saying book 6 is weak. There's literally like
Wow.
10 comments and it has hundreds of views. And people are like, that's when this series starts getting so good in the college. And I'm always responding
I
to people
love the
like, I
college.
actually haven't read the college yet. I'm talking about the build up to the college. Uh,
It's just such a
it's-
it's so good.
yeah, but that's where I'm
It's
at
so
like,
good.
right now.
And I think right now we're headed to another event, which does feel like it's repeating a little bit from book 3, where they go into the vampire land like a little bit. Um, but I think we're gonna get another fight between him and the Sword Saint, and their power sets have changed completely. Like they're way different, and I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. Um, anyway, well, you should pick it back up at some point, even if you skip forward some. It's so good.
It's on my list. I want to get back to it. I also want to get back to Completionist Chronicles. I basically am really excited about Empire with the Vampire right now, so I'm going to keep listening to that till I'm not excited about it anymore.
Cool.
Then I need to finish the Akatar series because I've listened to the first two books.
Okay.
Uh, Basically, just my book friend is really excited to talk about them, so
Okay.
that's my motivation for it. I don't particularly love or hate that series, but it's better than the stupid Throne of Glass one. Um, and
Why don't you like Throne of Glass? Because
I
I
liked the first
genuinely like that series.
book okay.
Okay.
I could not get through the second book. Uh,
That's crazy to me.
it was a while ago. I can't really tell you why particularly, but I just remember being like, "Oh, the first book is really good. I'm so excited to get in book two," and then never having finished book two because it sucked.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. This is it. Is your friend like Throne of Glass?
No, she also agrees that Akatar's better. Yeah.
That's crazy to me. On the channel, I think Akatar is infinitely worse, infinitely, than Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass is way better.
Okay. But yeah, Primal Hunter, Completionist Chronicles. Those are my next kind of area. Obviously, things are
Cool.
going to change. If you count it, Dungeon Crawler Carl Audio Immersion Tunnel Season 3 is out. So I'll probably listen to that first too, but that one will be a faster listen just because
Cool.
I can turn my brain off for that one since I've listened to the books. Um, I think there's another
What
book currently.
what makes you still listen to those? Because I thought you just basically didn't like those as much as the actual audiobook.
Because I like to support the audio immersion tunnel people.
Okay, cool.
I think it's a good company. I think they do very good stuff. Um, I think it's a very good job. Is it as good as the book? No. There's a lot more details in the book, but it's still fun. It's still good. Uh, there's nothing bad in it. In season one, they made changes from the books that I wasn't the biggest fan of. But like ever since then, they've been sticking to it, just making an enjoyable
Full
thing.
cast thing.
Like I,
Okay.
I'm supporting Matt Dinneman. I'm supporting Sound Booth Theater. Um, there's nothing bad with those. There's also three books that have popped up on my list. I don't know if I'll listen to them before or after getting back into those series. That is Star Wars Lost Souls.
Okay.
It has blown up my TikTok. It is Romeo and Juliet Star Wars, and apparently it's extremely good. It's a
Hmm.
fan written story. I There's a channel called Movie Fights,
Hmm.
and one of the questions was, how would you save Star Wars? And she was like, I would adapt this into a movie.
Really?
Yeah, and that's how she would save Star
Wow.
Wars. None of the people said get rid of the sequel series, which I think is the right answer, but I wasn't a person fighting for that. So, um, yeah. So that popped up on my radar. I'm vaguely interested in it. Um, and then two books that were compared to Dungeon Crawler Carl that were fun, great audiobook experiences. The Devils by Joe Abercrombie and Confessions of a Trash Droid. Both were told as like these are just fun, make you laugh, positive listening experiences. So I could use some more positivity in my life. Those
I've read Confessions, and I actually did enjoy it. Um, I haven't read Devils yet, but Joe Abercrombie I've talked about on the podcast before as like a grim dark. He gets like super dark, but he's also hilarious. I don't know if you'll like him, but you can give him a shot.
like I said, it's like a that's my to be read list right now. Is
Okay,
these
cool.
books? Nothing else is super high on my list. Like Count of Monte Cristo's technically on that, but it's so long. I'm like always going to put that off. I feel like that one's always going to be like a.
You'd be 83, like, I meant to read that before I die.
I'll read it eventually. I think. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Lord of the Rings is technically on there, same kind of thing. Started listening to it, but it's just like so long, and I love the movies that I'm like, I'll get to it eventually.
That's kind of where I am too.
Yeah. So, anyway, with that, let's go ahead and move on to our shared topic. This is from episode 4 and episode 5.
Mhm.
I know Conlon is disagreeing with me on at least one point. So we'll go ahead and let Conlon go first.
Okay, I enjoyed these episodes a lot more than I enjoyed episode 3. Personally, doesn't mean they're perfect. Still enjoyed them. Um, it does still kind of feel like nothing is happening. It still kind of feels like we're having more mysteries than we're having actually solutions. Unfortunately, there is a girl in it who is going crazy hearing voices. We've talked about the character before, but she starts hearing voices when the demon transforming dude, I don't even know what to call him, moves in with her as a disguised girl that crashed in the city. Here's the voices, and the voices say to drink the water and put it back into the vase at the diner. And for some reason, she does this. And I don't know why, because she has avoided listening to the voices for a long time. And when she did listen to the voices, bad things happen. She like learned the lesson already. And to me, it felt like, okay, if you wanted to have her drink the water and put it back in for the end of the show or end of the season, sure. Some time passed, maybe. She's tormented over and over and over again. But this is like, I heard the voices one time and I shouldn't do it. Wait, never mind. People are mean here, so I'm going to drink a little water and put it back in the vase. And I thought that was a little stupid, a little too fast, not the best writing. The things that I liked better about this is I think there is some cool information that's had by um what is the guy that goes on the trip? What is his name? The mushroom trip? Do you remember his name?
Jade.
Jade. Jade going on a mushroom trip. We have some interesting information. Um, I actually kind of liked that whole scene. I liked that you can use these people would go on mushrooms and they would have spiritual walks. It is part of an ancient history, whether there were different kind of drugs that would do that. And I like incorporating those ideas into this world that feels like it would have an Indian lore. It feels like it would be connected in a way towards that culture. I thought it was a cool use of storytelling there. I also like what the daughter is doing with traveling through time and her accidentally going to, I suppose, the future, where the old creepy man has won and he's eating everybody in the town. I enjoyed that. I thought that was good.
It's the past.
Um,
It's not the future.
oh, I thought it might have been the future. It's not the
Nope,
past.
we've seen that before. That's the past.
Oh, okay. So it's just a repeat of the past. Um, the thing I didn't really, I guess I'm still kind of mixed on it, but I liked it better. There's these dolls in the water. The dolls were kind of interesting, but at the same time, it feels like, oh, we're just asking more questions because there's something in the water the dolls were protecting from. And all of a sudden, they break through the wall and they're attacking everybody, and people are dying again. But we don't have answers, and I really want answers. I am more positive on this episode, these episodes, than I was on episode 3, but I still need some answers. I need some movement forward. We've been watching this for many seasons, many hours, and we still really don't have that much more than before. The last thing that I wanted to mention, I do like the daughter. The idea that they brought in ideas into this world, and those ideas changed the world that they're a part of. The little boy brings in a book where it talks about story writers, and now she's able to be a story writer where she walks through time and she can actually influence the story. I like that premise. We'll see what they do with that premise. I'm going to give these episodes like a 7.5. I am more interested than I was before, but I am still very skeptical.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Um, I agree mostly about what you said. These are far better than episode 2 and episode 3. Episode 2 and 3 were very much like, okay, we're going through the motions. We're not really having anything happening. We're not really progressing anything. Nothing really bad is particularly happening. Whatever. In the episode with the demon pretending to be the girl and the drink, I actually do think it asks an interesting question,
Okay.
because he does talk about the story of Abraham and
Mm-hmm.
about how, like, it's not necessarily an actual outcome that is desired. It is a test to see if they're willing to perform the task, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the girl, she originally heard voices. She ended up killing her brother, but that was season 1, right? She hasn't been hearing voices since then. So we do have a break, right? And then these voices come back and she's freaking out. She's completely isolated from the rest of the group. She has nobody to talk to because the priest is dead now. And she's told, like, if you listen to me, something bad will happen. And if you don't listen to me, something bad will happen. And the demon thing guy and man in yellow timed it to where she walked out, and then this person who finally gives her respect and attention and is somebody to talk to, and they live
That
together.
is interesting.
breaks her arm, right? We as an audience know that was fake, but like her, just like the timing of that was so good on the man in yellow's part. Um,
That is interesting. That's a good point.
so that does ask that question. I also find the story of Abraham completely interesting because I don't think it's the story that people talk about that it is. Um,
Okay.
I don't think it's a test from God to see if Abraham will kill his son. I don't
Mhm.
think the message is, are you willing to listen to God? I think the message is, are you willing to listen to yourself? Are you willing to say, like, if we're talking about priorities in life, right? God, spouse, kids, family, whatever. God is high up there, but like I would put my spouse and kids above that. So uh, that to me is the message of the story. It's don't follow God's word just to follow God's word, all the time. Think for yourself, independence, choice. But anyway, that's another side topic. It did make me think about that, so I give it some credit there. It had me have a philosophical question with conversation with myself, which is something. Um, but I really feel like these episodes amp up with the dolls. Um,
Okay, interesting.
I love the doll episode. I think the problem with episode 2 and 3 is there's nothing bad happening. There's no progressing
Okay.
with our villains. There's no feeling of doom. All of our characters in town are going through the motions. Oh, we need to go get more food. Oh, we need to do that. There's nobody knocking on the door at night anymore. There's no demons outside. We have what's her bucket in the attic building a golem, and she talks about looking out the window and seeing the person that she grew, the monster that she grew. But it doesn't show it. Like you could have shown that she woke up in the middle of the night terrified and looked out the window and saw him standing there. What a powerful image that would have been. But no, instead we
Mm.
get her playing with mud. And there's no real thing. So like what do the dolls do? They reestablish a threat, right?
Okay.
They reestablish that we're not always safe. Um, you said that there's no real answers. Yes, there's no real answers, but that's because we already know that everything that we're seeing is somebody's nightmare. It's a
Yeah.
past life's nightmare. We already know that, but this reestablishes that there is a threat and that the threat is
That
real,
there are still
and they're not
nightmares out there.
always safe. They're not safe from everything. Bad things can still happen. We saw the dolls in season 3. We saw her as a little girl in season 3, so we are reminded in that a season later. I think it's a good tie-in. Um, but yeah, I thought the visuals of the dolls was exceptional. I thought they did such a good
Really?
job with how they did
I
it.
felt like
Like
it felt like a man in a costume, like a little. Yeah,
it did
I think
until
it's
the
great.
jaw unhinges.
There is that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not always terrifying, but when it freaking attacks, holy crap, what a nightmare. Um, I kept thinking about how like Annabelle is one of my favorite movies, favorite horror things, and it's kind of there. I didn't love that she just suddenly remembered to stab them as if that's not something you're gonna do, but
Super
okay.
cheesy.
Um, but yeah, I thought it was like, okay, we're getting back to things mattering, even though we're not
Okay.
progressing anyway, but it feels like things are mattering. Our characters' choices are mattering. Um, my knockdown is the daughter and the one guy's relationship. I feel like they cut her hair for no other reason than to make her look older so that they can justify the romance later. And I'm like, before you cut your hair, you looked like a 15-year-old. Now you look like you're 25. Gee, I wonder why. There's that sudden change in how old you look. just as he starts staring at her.
And
Oh
as the
man.
mother has the discussion with him,
Well, yeah, that's they're in separate places at this point in time, but yeah, it's I don't like it. I think it's they should just completely steer away from that and be like, "Psych, she's a minor and he is almost 30. Let's not do that." Um, but yeah, we'll see where this goes. After we both watched season three or episode three, we were both like, "Oh,
yeah,
I don't
unfortunately.
know if I want to keep watching this. We'll watch something else." And then we finally were like, okay, let's get back to it. Like, we've invested so much time into this show, we should finish it. And genuinely, after I watched episode five, I was like, I want to watch episode six. And
Okay.
I had it on Plex already, I would have watched episode six. But because I had to go through the effort, I was like, no, I'll wait for Conlon. This won't be like episode two where I'm like, I already know what happens. But like, it makes me excited about the show again, which I think is a big,
Cool.
big thing. So you're at a 7.5. I'm at like 7.9 and 8 because I do have that excitement about the show again. Do I think they'll keep it up? No. Do I think that they should have ended the episode with Jade being in the coffin? Yes.
That
The
would have been
fact that
cool.
he wakes up and is there, I'm like, had you ended it there, would I have watched episode six? Absolutely. But
You would
no,
have
you gave
gone and
me
made sure
just
you
too much
counted
more. Yeah.
it.
And it's like, the only thing I can compare it to is weirdly the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where I was adamant that like had they stopped the movie with his web going out and not knowing if he caught her.
um,
If they had stopped the movie there, even though the movie sucked, would I have watched the third one as soon as it came out? Absolutely, I would have. But they didn't end it there. They kept telling a story that was crap. And then this one, it's kind of like, well, okay, now there's no stakes for Jade. We realize he was hallucinating the whole time, or wasn't really there, or maybe he story walked, or whatever the excuse is. I don't really know. But like, he's not in danger anymore of being buried alive, which I thought was like having the monsters bury him alive just after finding out that the monsters never kill him. And I'm like, holy crap, what are we going to do? Oh, he's in town again.
that would have been super cool. You're right.
I'm like, just
You're
if you
right.
had ended it there, man, I would have been so like,
But a
I'm going
hook,
to do
like, and
whatever I
line and
need to
sinker.
go watch the next episode. But now I'm okay with waiting. So, not sure when we'll get back to it. But when we do, I'm very excited to keep watching this show. So,
Cool. I hope they can keep it up. I really do. And I really hope we get answers. Really hope we get
I
answers.
don't think we're getting answers. There's still one more season after this. We've been talking about this question every time we've reviewed it. At this point in time, what do you need to consider season four a success?
A big answer. I don't need all of them, but I need one.
Okay. I'm still of the belief that I just need to believe that there's something different about this repetition of events than the others. That is, I if everything is going as planned, as it always does, then I'm not necessarily going to believe that our main characters, any of them, will survive. So I just need to know that there's something different about this attempt than any others.
If everyone died, like end of the show, everyone dies, but the daughter and the son, would you be happy with this show?
Depends on how they do it,
Okay.
right? If everyone dies besides the daughter and the son, okay. How? Did the others sacrifice themselves so that the two actual children survive? Is that the big twist that they don't need to save the children from the past, but the children that are there now, which are just the two.
It's kind of what I was thinking.
Is that the twist? I don't really know. Depends on how they do it. Do they survive because she learns how to story walk and for some reason doesn't go back in time and save her parents?
That would suck.
What are we talking about then? Like, that would be dumb. If she has the ability to time travel and she just chooses not to, what are
Stupid.
we doing? So there's definitely a lot of ways that that can come to fruition. We will see what happens. I don't have a lot of faith in the show, but I am enjoying the show. We're gonna see what happens. So
Has this season built up any faith for you? Are you lower? Are you higher? Are you in the exact same
I am
spot?
lower
Okay. I am
for
way
the
lower.
same
Like
reason you are.
way
It's
lower.
like it feels like they're extending it out so that they can have another season at this point. Like, yes, I do think it's
Yes.
good that we've reestablished that there's a threat. It's a good, but like, we're not progressing anything. We're not learning
No.
anything. We're not trying anything different. We don't know that anything is different about this repetition of time than any other repetition of time. We're learning, like, the biggest learning thing that we know about our characters in season 4 is that Jade is never killed by the monsters.
And that if Jade
That's
gets
it.
on mushrooms, he can see some cool shit.
And if, well, not necessarily Jade, I'd be very curious if other characters can do it as well. But we don't really
I would
know,
be
right?
too.
So,
But I would
um,
assume it'd be only the characters that are living another life that would be able to do it. I would guess. I don't know, but I would guess.
but that's the, yeah, I don't really know. So, like, that is something good. That is something important to learn. But we are halfway through season 4 and we've learned one thing about our
Yeah.
characters. So, like, let's move the plot forward a little bit more. Maybe it will in the last half of the season. We don't really know. Excited to find out. But yeah, I am quite a bit lower because every other season it's been like we are pushing
Answers
the
questions.
narrative
Answers
forward.
questions. Answers questions.
And then this one, it's like nobody's trying to do anything except for Jade going on mushrooms.
Yep. Everybody
That's
else is
it.
kind of there, I
Just
guess,
living life, just existing, just going through the motions. And it's
waiting to die.
not great, yeah. So we'll find out. We'll see.
Okay.
All right. And that's it for this week. Thank you everybody for watching and or listening. Really appreciate you guys. Love to hear you guys' comments and thoughts. Love to hear you guys' recommendations if you have something you want us to watch or listen to or play a game or whatever. We'd love to get those recommendations. Next week, we're going to be talking about the movie Tolkien. It is about J.R.R. Tolkien's life, and I'm pretty excited to learn about it. I hope it's a good movie. We will find out and tell you next week. Remember to be better today than you were yesterday.
See you guys.